Yeah.
And I've seen some men create safe spaces, you being one of them. I've seen you so many times post the Bible study.
Yeah.
Is that something that could help, where this is a group of people I can talk to?
Yeah. For example, all the people that have been reaching out about what happened in Kawempe, they have been asking, oh, I heard you were almost bitten. Oh, I had this and this. Oh, sorry about you guys. Yeah, I get it. But you see,
the more we do not talk about it, the more we do not encourage the men to come out and share, I think it's a ticking time bomb for society, because that means you're dealing with this group of people in society that are managing other people, yet they're dealing with their own issues, struggling with their own issues. They are leading families as they struggle. So they are leading not in the right mind. The men that I've interacted with, at least, do not completely believe in therapy. They have their reasons. Their reasons being they are not sure that it's actually confidential, like you say. But I think it's that whole thing of also being judged. But I mean, it's like going to a doctor.
Yeah.
You have to go and say what your problem is to be helped.
sometimes strip naked.
Sometimes strip naked.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at, he's going to judge me, how are you going to get help? Yes, so welcome to yet another episode of Mind Your Head. Always excited to be here and share with you, Canary.
Oh, the feedback is overwhelming.
It's exciting, it's overwhelming, but it's good that...
I can't stop thinking about it every time someone reaches out. Someone the other day in the newsroom said, that thing with Sheila you're doing with her, that's nice. I'm like, oh, even you watch it.
Yeah, but also the advice that people give, that means we're doing something good.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting. So I remember was it the second episode of the podcast? Someone was in my inbox and said, Sheila, I like that you are vulnerable, that people got to see that side of you being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Of course, I was like, maybe I didn't want that, but if it helped someone, well and good.
I remember you told the producer to cut it out.
Yes. And that brings me, it's very okay for women. I think half the time we're always vulnerable. We always express our emotions more than men. So even when men are facing challenges, you really have to push to find out if the person is okay. I think I'm also one of those people who's always asking you, are you okay? Are you okay? And you're like, I'm okay, right? Yeah. So why is it hard for you guys to talk about your challenges and your struggles?
Well, men, I think it's societal upbringing. We are brought up to be the hard gender, the caretaker of everything, and therefore you are concerned about taking care of everyone else apart from yourself. But also, we are not raised to show emotions. We're raised to show that showing emotions is a weak thing. I remember turning up for one of my surprise birthdays, and I just couldn't help it but shed tears. And then my mom was like, men don't cry. And when I was giving a speech, I was like, okay, I don't know why I cried, but I just felt overwhelmed that all of you guys were here for the surprise birthday. But yeah, I think it's the upbringing. It's the stereotypes around men and this specific gender. And yeah, that's why we rarely speak out.
But it is okay, is it? Isn't it okay to once in a while, at least with those people or in the environment where you feel it's your safe place, to share? Because I feel like what happens when the bottle is finally full? When you've held all that in for that long. Yeah.
No, absolutely, Sheila. It all of a sudden has a bearing on your mental health. You can only, pack in your head just too much. Eventually it will explode, like you say. But from my own experience, we fear to be judged. I'm not going to come here and say it's okay, men should speak out. Of course it is. But from my own experience, how do I feel about it? We fear to be judged. We fear to be vulnerable. it has to take a lot of time and deliberate effort for you to do it over and over again to feel okay about it. And maybe we should go on the other side of it. When you share, how does it feel?
Yeah. Don't you feel lighter and better?
Yeah, it feels lighter. It feels better, even when nothing is going to be done about it. But it plays with your emotions and your mental state to just feel good about maybe the situation. Say, okay, I just have hope. And hope is a very powerful thing to have. Just have hope that this is just, here for today, but tomorrow it will be gone. But that's just you as an individual. But what about the people around you? For example, all the people that have been reaching out about what happened in Kawempe, they have been asking, oh, I heard you were almost bitten. Oh, I had this and this. Oh, sorry about you guys. Yeah, I get it. But you see, for example, nobody has reached out to say, are you okay?
Yeah. They're not asking the right question.
Yeah, they're not asking the right question. Nobody has, okay, you were face to face with this guy who almost beat you up. And are you okay? Are you fine? First of all, I had headache for like days. Because of the trauma. This guy, I've never, it's something else, firing at someone else and you're recording that. It's different when this guy comes to your face and he's looking at you and you don't know the next step he's going to do. It's also different when, all these things are flooding all over the internet. Of course, it's worse for my colleagues like Isano who are still in hospital. I think he was discharged the other day. But the question is, are you asking the right questions when you are approaching this person? That's why, for example, we've decided to come out and say,
journalism is not a crime.
Yeah, to just like put it out there.
Yeah.
But that's a broader conversation. When you go deep, when you go deep to like individuals, I remember one and we all almost broke out to cry. Filled with emotions.
Yeah, yes.
But if you put me on the side and ask me, are you okay? Like I'm traumatized. Even if I hear a siren,
yes,
it just feels like it's coming for me. Yeah.
And I've seen some men create safe spaces. You being one of them. I've seen you so many times post the Bible study.
Yeah.
Is that something that could help? Where this is a group of people I can talk to?
Yeah.
And share in those moments, or these are people I can call like after that long day in Kawempe to say I can talk to this person. Or as a man you'd say I'll just first figure it out myself before. And for those that don't go to those safe spaces, is it that they fear that they're not actually as safe as they think?
Yeah, that's interesting to bring out. Yeah. So for us, maybe of our social groups, maybe because we've gone to school, we're exposed, and we're in different fields, we're able to sit down and share. If I say, for example, like in the men's Bible study, like we just said, by the way, guys, no matter what you're doing this weekend, we say we're going to have a study. We sit down and talk and share. It's okay. Maybe someone has been going through something. Say, guy, are you okay? Can we sit down? No. Don't text it. It's actually interface and talk.
Yes.
We don't have to find solutions for it, but
to let out,
but also hearing from someone else's perspective, how it affected them when it was their time. It's just so, gives you so much relief. So I think for the creation of safe spaces, it has to be deliberate. Say, I feel safe with this kind of people or this kind of person. These spaces, you don't have to, feel judged. This is a space where you're not judged or you don't feel judged. Be a space where there is trust. Because there's sharing, and then all of a sudden
it's worse.
It's worse. And then most importantly, you feel a sense of comfort. Yeah. I don't know how girls do it, but I know girls always have like groups. But at the same time, girls groups also...
That's a whole other discussion for another day. We'll come back here just to discuss that one.
Okay. Yeah. But men and mental health, I think it's one of the least covered or least talked about things.
But I also feel like the more we do not talk about it, the more we do not encourage the men to come out and share, I think it's a ticking time bomb for society, because that means you're dealing with this group of people in society that are managing other people, yet they're dealing with their own issues, struggling with their own issues. They are leading families as they struggle. So they are leading not in the right mind. And that could be affecting the people they work with, the people they stay with. So how do we encourage men to come out and find at least one or two people that they can talk to?
Let's speak about that in the next segment. Sheila, you're talking about how to encourage these. First is, I think we're playing our role by encouraging this conversation to happen. But also, we need to encourage therapy.
Right?
We need to encourage therapy. I don't know if you've been to one.
Of course.
But even if you don't feel safe around some people, at least you can see a therapist. Therapy is, I think, one of the most least talked about things, but also around men, there's a myth that therapy is for the weak. There's stigma around therapy. But honestly, it's confidential. It's why are you lost in the conversation? Are you thinking about you don't look like you're here. Are you okay?
No. Therapy for men. For me, it's because the men that I've interacted with, at least, do not completely believe in therapy. They have their reasons. Their reasons being they are not sure that it's actually confidential, like you say. But I think it's that whole thing of also being judged. But I mean, it's like going to a doctor.
Yeah.
You have to go and say what your problem is to be helped.
Sometimes strip naked.
Yeah. So if you're looking at, he's going to judge me, how are you going to get help? But also, there's a group of men that believe, you understand, which I think goes back to being seen as weak.
Yeah.
But you need help. I mean, there's so much going on in society. There's so many pressures from work, from family, from society. We need to accept when we need help.
It's also out there that it's bougie. It's luxurious.
Like Ababaina sente zokono.
How do you go and talk to someone about your problem? Someone who doesn't know you. But maybe that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also a myth out there that you don't need therapy, just man up.
And that's how we end up with some people getting into drugs, and because they are manning up, and in that they're coping with other using substances or
yes.
Yeah.
But also, like you said earlier, you talked about encouraging leaders who are not fit to lead. You're leading a family, but this person has been facing all these difficulties in life, and instead of seeing a therapist, instead of getting a support group, instead of talking to you as a loved one, you're telling them to man up, and therefore the entire family just goes wrong.
Yeah.
Raises up kids the wrong way, triggers you as a loved one to do things that you shouldn't have done, and many other things. So I think as men in society, I think it's important that we have this conversation. It also takes, I think, self-will.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of strong self-will to realize, okay, I need help.
Because everyone can tell you as much, but you have to make the final decision.
Yes. Let's get into our last segment. This is Brain Breaks. We're into our last segment of the podcast, and we're trying to see now a way forward. For women, how do you cope?
We cry.
You cry.
We cry, we let it out, but also we share. And unfortunately for the women, in sharing, it could make the matter better or worse. So it's knowing who to share with. We talked about therapy for those that can and are willing and open to it.
Yeah.
Something that I started recently, I was very hesitant about, but I started it and I'm enjoying it, is journaling.
I think with my bad handwriting, I can journal.
You can use your phone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Download the journal and journal. That's what I use.
But also you don't need to type and write. You can even just record voice
you
notes.
can. I also can't type. I find it too much. So I just record.
How does that help?
Because it helps me let out what I'm feeling for the day. I don't have to sleep with all that anxiety and tension and anger based on maybe what has happened or what I'm feeling. I will journal it before I sleep and I will be at peace for that day. But it also helps like confrontations with people where I would maybe someone has upset me, instead of saying things and regretting them later or not saying the right things, I'd rather save it and journal so that when I next meet the person, I'm not speaking out of anger, but I'm in the right mindset. Yeah.
But also, so would you encourage a man to journal?
Yes, I would, because if you feel you don't have a safe space to let out,
then at least your phone can.
At least you can journal, really.
I think one thing I know about journaling, I'm not good at it, but at least some things that I feel important, I don't journal every day, but some things I feel important to note, I just put it in my notes. There's a sense of self-reflection when you actually revisit these things. Are like, I can't believe I was going through this at this time last year and I'm now here.
Yeah. But I think it also creates a sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
How far you've gone, how far your journey has gone. You know, sometimes we forget to be grateful for the small things in life. But when you listen to these, but maybe for those that even go for therapy, you could just go and play a recording to your therapist for that moment, how you felt. Because you felt maybe, then, yes, when you meet them, maybe 3 days later, you'll want to maybe make it look like I'm okay. But if you play for them that recording, they get to listen to your tone and your emotions and understand how best to help you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I had never thought about that. But there are two other things that I think would help, especially for the men, is physical exercises. What I know about men, could do gym or boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing especially because you're letting it out, and also making sure that you're physically fit.
Yeah.
As a stress reliever, I think physical exercises does work.
It works for me a lot. I'm always in the gym. I swim, I box, I do my weights. But also the exercise, putting the exercise aside, when I go to the gym, there's this group of people that I work out with. And as we have this banter going on, as we work out and talk about their issues or have these jokes here and there, by the time you leave, yes, you've worked out. That's for the physical. For the mental, you've listened to all these jokes. And if you walked into that gym, maybe in the wrong space,
you feel much
better.
So gym is also a community.
Yes, it's also a community.
Not to let out, but also
you can just hear
put your thoughts on the side and listen to other people.
And something completely because this is a completely different group of people. So just to listen to their side of things. And,
The last thing I encourage men to do is check on your male friends.
Yeah.
Check on your male friends to say, man, are you okay? Obviously, my answer is, yeah, I'm good. What's up?
Yeah.
Like, do you have something to say? But I think just going beyond that layer,
are you okay?
And just say, can we sit and chat? Can we have a coffee? And then tell me, how is life? How is it treating you?
Yeah.
You know, one thing that I discovered is you ask someone, are you okay? Like, yeah, I'm good. How are you? Like, no.
Are you
okay?
Yeah.
Then you see someone relax and say, man, I'm okay, but okay, can we talk about the bad? Yeah, I think it's important that we check on each other, and also just to agree that sometimes we need help.
But when they also check on you, be receptive.
It's not easy.
It's at least try and be receptive.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not sure you want to share at that moment. And it's not that you don't trust this person, but you're not sure you want to share at that moment. And sometimes if someone asks me I'm okay, I'll wait for the right moment. If you're actually genuinely asking if I'm okay. Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't have to be, depending, I think it's knowing and understanding your friends or loved ones, that if I ask Canary if he's okay, he'll tell me he's okay. But if I tell him, let's go to the gym, and we go to the gym, as we work out, maybe I'll be able to find out. So maybe some people, depending on the person, you need to use different methods to try and get to them.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
All right, so we gotta go.
Yeah, I want to put a disclaimer. Some of the feedback I got, myself and Canary are not sitting here as experts. We are just sharing our experiences. We are not saying our life is perfect. We are not saying we know it all, but we're just sharing to whoever it will help or whatever they can pick out from it.
And that's why you'll see, for example, in our next episode, we'll have an expert on the show. He's been a victim, but he's now a survivor, and he's also helping other people, recover from substance abuse or drug abuse. Catch you in the next episode.